All right, guys, this is it for the regular season. We're looking at the last week and a half, the last 10 days worth of matchups in our week 25/26 preview. It's going to be a weird and wonderful and wild 10 days here in the NBA, and streaming is going to be very, very important. Let's start by looking at, of course, the teams who do have the best schedules for this week and the team with the worst schedule for this week, and then we'll break that schedule down into a little bit of extra detail. The team with the best schedule for this upcoming week is the Utah Jazz. They play 6 games for this coming week. They have a game against Charlotte. They play the Suns. They play the Kings. They play the Lakers. So really 4 massively fantasy-friendly teams to begin the week. They end the regular season with a back-to-back against the Nuggets and the Clippers. Nearly every team has a back-to-back to end the season. And they're relatively tough matchups. The Nuggets and the Clippers could both be pushing for seeding there as well as Utah. So you'd imagine that a lot of these teams will be playing most of their guys through this stretch. There is some easy games there, like the Phoenix one. You might see some of these Jazz guys limited, but that's going to be the case for pretty much all teams outside of perhaps the Nets, the Pistons, the Heat, and the Magic, as those 4 teams trying to push themselves into the 2 remaining playoff spots in the Eastern Conference. Everyone else is going to be having selected games off, whereas those 4 teams are probably the only ones who won't be doing that. In terms of the worst schedule for the upcoming, I'm just going to call it a week, even though it's not a week. The LA Clippers play 4 games. They're one of 3 teams that play only 4 games over this time frame. The Wizards and the Pelicans are the other 2 teams. The Clippers don't play till Wednesday, so they don't play the first 2 days of the week. They have the Rockets, they have the Lakers, the Warriors, and the Jazz. So only one of those teams is a fantasy-friendly team to go against. That's the Lakers. And the other 3 are tough. Plus, you're looking at just the 4 games as opposed to the majority of teams which play either 5 or 6. Now, it's not a massive decline in games because the majority of teams in the league do play 5 games this week, so it's only 1 less there. So you might still get value out of someone like Danilo Gallinari and Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell, but players like Paddy Beverly, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, it's pretty tough to lock those guys into weekly lineups with only the 4 games going for this week. If we have a look at how the rest of this week shakes out, it is quite a different week to what we've been seeing recently. So your strategy for this upcoming week is going to be quite different to what it's been over these last 3 or 4 weeks probably. It is pretty tough to stream this week with the way that the games are set up. We've got 9 games on Monday, 4 games on Tuesday, 12 Wednesday, 3 Thursday, 13 on Friday, 2 on Saturday, 14 on Sunday, 0 on Monday for the NCAA final, 11 on Tuesday, and 11 on Wednesday. So using my number of 8 or less are good stream days, you're going to have Tuesday, you're going to have Thursday, and you're going to have Saturday. So 3 out of 10 days you're going to have to stream. Now you might be able to stream on this first Monday where there's 9 games left, but that's it. A 12-game Wednesday? No. A 13-game Friday? God no. A 14-game Saturday? Zero chance. An 11-game Tuesday and an 11-game Wednesday? Very, very unlikely. So you are at best going to have 4 stream days only. That is it. They are not on any back-to-back situation. And the end of the week, you're not able to stream guys in because the last 4 days of 3 active days in the NBA are 14, 11, and 11 games. So your roster, now you're going to be able to add guys, but you're going to have to be dropping guys who also play on those days just to get the stats that you need to win this matchup. And again, do not play fantasy basketball in April. If you're still listening to this podcast, watching these videos, then you are obviously a fan of this show or just really want to hear me talk about how you shouldn't be playing at this point in the year. But those days, the Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, where there's 4, 3, and 2 games, they're the days that you've really got to be looking at in terms of being able to get value. And in terms of the teams that you can attack, well, there's no teams that play all 3 of those days. There's the Sixers who play 2 of them, the Warriors that play 2, and the Bucks and the Kings and the Lakers. And that's it. They're the only teams that play 2 of the 3 quality days. So your streaming value is going to come from there. Now, in Philadelphia, you're going to have someone like perhaps Jonah Bolden, depending on how long Joel Embiid sits. Maybe you're looking at Jim Ennis. Maybe it's TJ McConnell who could have value there, but it seems unlikely. It's all going to come down to how these guys rest. But that is a team that you're looking to attack. The Warriors as well, but their bench has no value. But will the Warriors rest anybody? Again, we just don't know at this point. The Bucks, they rested everybody today, and you'd have to assume that at some point during this week there's going to be some rest. So you hope that they do the rests on Thursday or on Saturday, so you can actually stream these guys in and add your Bonzi Colsons and get 1 or 2 games out of those players. The Kings, similarly, they have a Tuesday, Thursday, so they have the pseudo back-to-back at the beginning of the week. So you're looking at guys like Corey Brewer if you need steals. You're looking at Willie Cauley-Stein in that scenario. You're looking at Marvin Bagley, of course, although he is a must-roster player. Bielitsa in deeper formats. And then for the Lakers with 2 games, Flaming Mo Wagner, he's got to start on Sunday in place of Kyle Kuzma. Lance Stevenson starting in place of LeBron James. You've got guys like Alex Caruso who could be stepping up and playing a larger role as well. But overall, there are a bunch of teams that play no quality games. For example, the Jazz play 6 games. And I said they got the best schedule for this week. They do, but not one of those games is on a low volume day. So streaming a guy like Jay Crowder, it might be hard to do unless you drop a player who actually plays on that day. You're streaming a guy like, who else is there on that team? Hull Neto. Maybe, maybe not. Royce O'Neal, Kyle Korver for 3s. You're not going to be able to use those guys in a lot of situations in your regularly themed or your regularly executed stream strategy. It won't work during this week, and you need to really be able to adjust what you're doing. There's going to be lots of opportunities with general soreness and rests right across the week, providing opportunities for players that you may not have even heard of. So you've got to be on top of the news, especially on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And then, as I said, those last 3 days of the week, you might have to be dropping players who play games on that day but don't fit what you actually need in terms of fantasy basketball value. Now, I can have a look at those last 3 days of the season. It is really important to note. Just a bit under half of the teams play 3 games in the final 3 active days of the season. The Pistons, the Knicks, the Warriors, Blazers, Thunder, Mavericks, Jazz, Wolves, Nuggets, Hornets, Grizzlies, and Heat all play on Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whereas the rest of the league only plays 2 games. And that's that stage where there's a 14, 11, and 11 games on. So looking to stream these guys in is going to be very important, and really looking at what your team needs in either head-to-head or even roto leagues as well. It's going to be really, really important to pay attention to that. So it is really a weird week in fantasy basketball coming up to end this season. It's going to get weirder, I can guarantee you. Let's look at some players that we can potentially stream in to provide some extra value in those specific categories. See which guys can provide that for us. If we're looking for points, the Fort, Kevin Knox, 6 games for the week. You'd imagine he plays all 6 of those. He's a strong points stream. Dwight Powell of the Dallas Mavericks is a guy who's available in a lot of different situations, but he's got 4 games left. He's someone to look at, same as Emmanuel Mudiay. Of course, trusting the New York Knicks is really, really hard with Professor Data, but they do have that 6-game week. For 3-pointers, the Duke, Wayne Ellington, the Pistons are one of those teams who is going to be fighting for every game. So someone like Ellington to get those 3s in with 6 games, and even if you're looking for blocks, maybe Thon McCare could be an option. I haven't listed him there, but he's another guy who's going to have to get significant minutes there. Jay Crowder with 4 games this week, and Luke Cornett of the Knicks. But of course, as I mentioned with the Jazz, they don't have any quality games in this time frame. Neither do the Knicks. So if you're adding to stream these guys, you're going to be dropping someone who does have a game on that day. For rebounds, you're looking for Mitchie Robinson of the Knicks. He's a must-roster guy regardless, and the 6 games are obviously fantastic. Bam Bam Adebayo and Bill Hernan-Gomez, a couple of other rebound options. For assists, I'm looking at Tyus Jones, 6 games for him and the Wolves. DJ Augustine for the Orlando Magic, only 5 games for Deej, but I'm pretty confident he's going to play in all 5 and play 30-plus minutes as the Magic push for the playoffs. And Freddie VanVleet, you'd imagine that Kyle Lowry, Kawhi Leonard, Dan Green, these guys will all get some games off, and VanVleet will continue with a pretty large role. If you're looking to stream in some steals, Josh Okogie of the Minnesota Timberwolves have 6 games. His minutes are pretty secure. Big Shaq Harrison of the Chicago Bulls. Marcus Smart, another guy who's has an opportunity to be a steal streamer. For blocks, the no-brainer is Mitchell Robinson, Maxi Kleber, and Luke Cornett, some really under-the-radar guys that you can look at who are available in a ton of leagues and both play 6 games this week. And for field goal percentage, it's Mitchie Robinson, it's Dwight Powell, and Jakob Poeltl, another good option to help boost your field goal percentage. For your free throw percentage, a little bit harder to influence that category. DJ Augustin, Al-Farouq Aminu can also be an impact guy there. Rocket Rodney Hood, Marco Bellinelli, another free throw percentage player who can help you in that category as you look to close out the week. This will do it for looking at the weekly preview stuff, guys. I hope you have had a successful season. I hope you realize the folly of playing your fantasy season into April. Get your commissioner to not only change it, but if they don't want to, listen to this podcast, or if they have got a problem, tweet at me directly at redrock_bball, and I can tell them why they shouldn't be playing at this point in the season, or why I believe they shouldn't be playing. Hey, no one needs to listen to me, but why I believe they shouldn't be playing at this point in the season. Good luck, and hopefully you can stream your asses off to a victory.